Thank you, Jacob, for joining us here today. So if you could introduce yourself real quick, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob Little, grade 4 national assistant referee here in Michigan. This is my 14th year as being a registered USSF official, but my first being a national assistant referee.
And first of all, so congratulations for your achievement to make it the national officials.
Thank you.
And we talked about this Detroit game, but could you tell us a little bit about that particular game you had?
Yeah. Detroit versus Charleston. Charleston being a great team, veteran team. Of course, it's a great atmosphere always at Detroit. Under the assumption, going in the match, Charleston was going to set the tone or welcome Detroit, being the newbies in the USL Championship League, with their physicality. Going with that, overall the physicality of the match, we had 29 fouls, 3 cautions, all against Charleston. So our projections were correct going into that match, especially match prep after we watched the game previously a week prior with Tulsa. So pre-game comments interviews said that Charleston was going to be the favorite. Charleston is, like I said, a very veteran team with a lot of USL experience. And DCFC, I think, took exception to that and really fueled them throughout the match. Scouting wise, DCFC, they're very direct, very offensive heavy team. Long balls over the top, let their tall and fast forwards really run and go chase after it. And Charleston is a very high defensive line, especially scouting. That's, especially as an assistant referee, that's something that I look forward to and something that I look at to see where that line is set and where, primarily my offside decisions are going to take place. So I knew going into the match, we were going to have some tight offside decisions and where I need to be at the right time.
Yeah, and then after the game, we talked a little bit about offside decisions in general, but there was one that seemed to have stood out for you. So if you could tell us a little bit if you could describe that offside, please.
Yeah. So very close offside decision. I think this was my 3rd offside in the match, or offside judgment rather in the match. Basically, two of the 3 were all in relatively the same spot, and I knew that from scouting. Essentially a carbon copy of placement, really. And kind of give you a little background on it. In the 66th minute, Detroit City made a sub up top with Connor Rutz for Pato Faz up top. And background with Connor, he's a very tall, lengthy guy with good speed. And basically his MO is run, run, run. So I know that for me as an assistant referee, I think I kind of knew the expectation for that I'm going to have to be on my horse there's going to be a lot of tight offside decisions in regard to with his speed. But first, like I said, first 2 offside decisions were not as direct. This one was very direct out of the back. And then saw him running out of the back. And, especially with this decision, we had with Connor running out of the back, very high speed. And then we had at the same time a very high line from Charleston stepping up, to create that kick at the kick point. It's a very tight decision in regard to that. So that's kind of a little background on it. And, nonetheless, very tight.
So you have, let's say that in a match you call 2-3 offside, put your flag up, or maybe something you have 4 or 5 or even more. But there's plenty more opportunities for you to make a decision because offside decision is both onside decision and offside decision. And then many of them are tight. So what made that particular instance stand out so much? And then what kind of analysis did you do for yourself?
Yeah. So what's kind of separated this from the others is that given the speed and the pace of the ball and where the ball was coming out of the back, it definitely made me have to prioritize where that defender is and where the attacker is at the same time, as well as, especially as an assistant referee, having to always have kind of an idea of where the ball's coming from, so that we can kind of make that presentation of or have that direct line of focus and where, hey, this ball came from here. Are we onside or offside at the kick point? So I think what separated that from the other offsides was I kind of also was in kind of a fixed position near the halfway line where everybody's running out of the back, but I have to be in that fixed position where I have limited movement. So I think I understand as an assistant referee that in this point of time, I'm going to have to play catch up. This is something that I have no choice because I have to be fixed at the halfway line, and make it that precise decision. What's separated from this though is I kind of cheated in a way, and kind of compensated subconsciously, because I knew that full speed coming out of the back, and I really needed to. I prioritized in a weird way where I took the prioritization of being with the second to last defender after the kick point instead of being at the kick point and then playing catch up after that. So I think that's what separates, doing my post game analysis is that I chose the wrong prioritization at the wrong time, and I needed to reflect on that.
So when we think about grassroots referees, they may be doing even like 9v9 or 11v11, but U13. Play may be slower. Players may not be, anywhere as skilled as a USL championship players, but they are those tight offside decisions. And I think prioritization is relevant to them too. So what kind of advice do you have for those grassroots referees when they have such tight decisions on the field?
Yeah, general rule of thumb for me is as an AR in situations like this, fixed positions. However, we kind of need to prioritize being in the correct decision at all times at the point of kick. We can always gain ground or catch up and use our fitness to our advantage, and then get back in line for the next phase of play. I think that's something that we need to really dive deep into and really understand that as assistant referees, our main focus is offside. So whatever you have to do to make sure that at the kick point, we're in that ideal position rather, to really see that clear line of vision from the kick point. I think that's paramount. So also, something that for me that helps build consistency is, always make sure that my dominant eye is in line properly. That's something that I've been working on for years, and I'm not perfect at it. And that comes with constant doing games at the certain level that you're at, and it's going to change as you progress up. And that's something, especially me being my first year in the USL, the speed is different. It's different from college. It's different from even the other pro leagues, or even the semi-pro leagues like MPSL. The speed is different. These are professional players that play at the international level. So you have to retrain your eyes. So practice, always trying to find some relevant fixed fixture that you can base your movement off of. I think is key. And just making sure that we're prioritizing that kick point instead of cheating like I did. So it was definitely a lesson learned, and going forward in my matches going forward in the season, that's something that I'm going to be working towards moving forward. So that's something that I want to take forward.
It's great to hear that even at the top level, referees reflect, and in your case, you say you cheated, but you still got the decision right? So
Yeah.
ultimately, the decision was correct. So that's good, and I appreciate that you're sharing your experiences and lessons learned, for these grassroots referees. So thank you, Jacob, for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.